morning. It's a good day to be the District Attorney of Sacramento County, particularly in light of what we're about to present to you. I wanted to just take a little bit of your time this morning to talk about a couple of things. One is to celebrate the power of collaboration and innovation, and also to celebrate promoting positive change within our community. And that really is the essence of what has come out of our MOU with Motel 6. So I just wanted to give you, as members of representatives of our county, a snapshot of how we got here with this MOU with M6 and how we've been able to successfully terminate it, and really what we're doing on behalf of this community as a collaboration. And many of you know this, but I just want to kind of explain to you how we got here. And you may know that back in 2015, really in the early part of 2015, when I had just literally started my first term, beginning my first term, our community prosecution unit within the district attorney's office became aware that we had some significant criminal activity, nuisance activity at several Motel 6s throughout Sacramento County, which we all know at one in particular in Arden was in the culmination of the shooting death of Deputy Danny Oliver. Our community prosecution unit, which I want to give special kudos to those members today, realized that this was a countywide problem. It was not just in the unincorporated, but it also existed within the city of Sacramento, as also well in the city of Rancho Cordova. Through our community prosecution program, we were able to identify that over 5,300 calls for service had been generated from various Motel 6s throughout our county, and we knew that was an extraordinary amount of resources being dedicated. It was also an extraordinary amount of nuisance activities, whether it be drug trafficking or drug activity, human trafficking, those types of things that we saw occurring. So at that time, in early 2015, our office started working with our law enforcement partners, so Sac PD, Rancho Cordova, and the Sheriff's Department, as well as the city attorney from Sacramento, as the city attorney from Rancho Cordova. And before I proceed with what the issues were, I just want to give a special shout out to our office, community prosecution team, and some of those members, obviously led by Natalia Luna, Ron Lithicum, Joy Smiley, Hillary Bagley, Franzoya, Rochelle Beersley, Shauna Franklin, Kevin Higgins, Leslie Kolb, and Sonia Satchel. Many of those folks are here today. I also want to give credit to the city of Sacramento, Gustavo Martinez, who I see you guys here, as well as Kate Cook from the Rancho Cordova City Attorney's Office, as well as obviously our law enforcement partners. So we started in 2015 with this issue, and I probably will never forget the day that we had a meeting. We sent a letter in July of 2015 to Motel 6, to their corporate headquarters. I'm never going to forget that meeting because it was not only well attended, but when I asked the CEO of M6, which is obviously a very large corporation, if he'd ever had a problem of this magnitude in one jurisdiction where a DA's office got involved, his answer was never. And so we knew that this was a historic opportunity for us as an office, as a community, as a county, to really change some behavior within our county and try to do something creatively short of actually prosecuting Motel 6. And so we found from those meetings that they were interested not only working together, but to abate their nuisances, and they also, obviously, we created an MOU which was signed back then. So what did the basics of the MOU call for, which are something that I think have become the model for how we oftentimes want our business community to practice their business. So we essentially used a template of said, here's what's going to happen if you fail to comply with this MOU. The last thing we want to do is to end up in court, which in fact we did not have to do. So we wanted them to reduce crime, we wanted them to improve their safety at their hotels, and we wanted to also improve their hotel conditions. So the basics of the MOU included that they would change their registration process, that they would require identification, actually some kind of official identification. We asked them to engage in what we call CEPTED, which many of you may know stands for Crime Prevention Through Environmental Design, which I never knew about before I became the DA. We asked them to increase security, which had a tremendous and significant impact on their hotels in a very immediate fashion. That was not something that was inexpensive for them to do, but it was something that they stepped up very quickly to do. They improved their lighting, They trained their employees. And as a result of the MOU, we had quarterly meetings with their staff. Oftentimes, they flew out from Texas or back east to meet with us, as well as law enforcement. And a big part of this MOU that we all felt was very important was we wanted M6 to give back to this community to help kind of repair some of the issues that we saw happening. And we made it very clear at the outset that we wanted three things to happen. We wanted reinvestment in nonprofits that provide services for domestic violence, human trafficking, as well as youth intervention. And so over the 5 years, that reinvestment in our community would total $750,000. While I've been the DA for only 4 years, I'm not sure I've ever seen of any kind of MOU of that magnitude, not just in this county really, but this is a very significant amount of reinvestment. While the MOU was a 5-year term, we also gave them what we often called a day-for-day credit. So if they complied with the MOU, they would be entitled to terminate that MOU early. And that's what we're here today to do. So what did we do in 2016? Well, we gave, to be honest with you, we're not usually in the business of giving out money as a DA's office. So it was, it was a good day. I missed it. What happened? You know what?
No, you're usually asking for it.
So in 2016, we gave, I think it was a number of different nonprofits, which I'm going to go over just briefly. $270,000 was invested into the Sacramento County Office Public Safety and Community Improvement Fund. And these are the nonprofits that we gave back in 2016. Community for Peace, and I know Elaine is here, Weave, I know Beth is here, St. John Shelter, Michelle Steve, Another Choice, Another Chance, City of Refuge, My Sister's House, Opening Doors, Cash, Chicks in Crisis, and then Youth Intervention, Youth Services, Always Knocking, Rancho Cordova PAL, Sacramento Police Foundation, Wind Youth Services, Reimagine Mac Road, also Cordova Community Partnership, La Familia Counseling Center. And we also established a series of scholarships in memory of Sheriff's Deputy Danny Oliver through Grant High School. And I believe we were able to give out 5 of those scholarships that year. And then in 2017, we had another $270,000 invested into this improvement fund. And that year cycle in the area of domestic violence and human trafficking, we gave a substantial award to Family Justice Center, and we also gave money to City of Refuge. And I do know that some folks from FJC are here as well. And then in the area of youth services in 2017, again, Always Knocking, Rancho Cordova PA Police Athletic League, Reimagine Mac Road, Reading Partners, which is a huge fan of mine, Roberts Family Development, and La Familia as well. And so now we get to 2018, and that's really why we're here today, is to announce our final disbursement of the funds deposited by Motel 6. And this year we want to recognize 16 local nonprofits, again, in those 3 areas. And I'd ask that, I'm going to do it by group, just to save us a little bit of time. So in the area of domestic violence, this year's recipients, and I'll ask the representatives to come forward. We have, I believe, Rachel Rios from La Familia, Neil DeVal Morris from My Sister's House, and from FJC we have Faith, Joyce, Tony, and I think Paul Derber is here. I'd ask, we have certificates for them today, but they've also been awarded a certain amount of funds to help their nonprofits as well. So with that, I'd like to present those organizations: La Familia, My Sister's House, Sacramento FJC, and we, sorry about that, to come forward, and I will give them their certificates. In the area of human trafficking, we have Community for Peace, which is Elaine Whitefeather. Asian Resources is Ms. Bermudez. The Operations Director, Chicks in Crisis, is Inez Whitlow. City Refuge is Lauren and Michelle Whitmore. And from Cash, we have Terry Galvin. And then, obviously, lastly but not least, I want to just invite up our youth service nonprofits. And this year, I just want to, most of these are known to you, I'm sure they are, but this year's recipients are Always Knocking, Neighborhood Wellness Foundation, which is Brother to Brother, Rancho Cordova Police Athletic League, Reading Partners, Roberts Family Development, Sacramento Police Foundation, and Sacramento Sheriff's Department. So I ask all of them to come up and receive their certificates. Okay, so based upon the completion of the MOU, Motel 6 did in fact invest that $210,000 as the completion of the MOU. I did sign the termination agreement this morning. As you know, these are the groups that are going to receive it this year. And then just lastly, I just want to again say it's extraordinary that so much money was invested in this community. Really something that started out as a negative event turned into a very positive. And just some of the things that we recognized and realized by the termination of this MOU, it's a demonstration of the success of working together, of using really what I call a non-traditional approach. And so some of the things that have come out of this MOU, obviously the calls for service have reduced significantly, which is not just good for the hotel, good for the community, it's good for law enforcement. The neighborhood communities seem to be very happy. Some businesses have been able to expand. We've developed a very positive relationship between M6 and law enforcement, as well as our office. It didn't start that way, but it definitely ended that way. We have seen and done multiple trainings for M6 on some of the things that they should be looking for to help us reduce crime and improve public safety. And the fact that M6 has now become part of the local hotel association has been very positive for us. We've even seen this in our police reports. Don't bother going to M6 anymore because they know that they have cleaned up their act and that it's not worth individuals going there to engage in criminal activity. I think one of the best things that we've seen come out of this is the fact that Motel 6 really has, and I give them a lot of credit, become a nationwide trainer for other hotels on human trafficking, how to detect it, how to see it, how to report it, and how to prevent it. And I really give them a lot of credit. They asked for our input, they asked for the input of experts in the area of human trafficking, and they've done what they said they were going to do. I also think it's a demonstration of their commitment to this community that they are now on the board of the Family Justice Center. And really the commitment to this community has been extraordinary. So without hesitation, I know that part of that is not just their actual corporate structure, but I also give credit to Stan Van Vleck, who was their attorney, and he felt very strongly that he wanted them to be a partner in this community and to resolve their issues. And so I really thank them tremendously. And so just lastly, I just give, again, a shout out to our DA's Community Prosecution Unit, the City Attorney's Office in Sacramento, the Rancho Cordova City Attorney's Office, and our law enforcement partners. And this was really an extraordinary example of collaboration where we promote positive change in our community. And with that, I thank you. If you have any questions on that.
Mr. Wright has a question.